Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking why when you get anxiety are your hot flushes worse. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. So are you finding that your hot flushes are getting worse when you're a bit anxious, when you're a bit more stressed? So there is definitely a connection between anxiety and hot flushes and how they can actually impact on each other, which is really interesting. So hot flushes and anxiety, they're basically the two most common symptoms in the menopause. And this is something that we found probably for the last 15 years or more, that these two have the biggest impact on those going through the perimenopause and the menopause. They can impact on each other, so this can then become a real vicious cycle. So when you get hot flushes, especially if it's in public, you may find that if you're at work, if you're talking to people, if you're driving, if you're doing things that involve other people, when you feel a hot flush coming on, you immediately get anxious because you're going to think the worst. It's going to be like, oh, everybody's going to see how red I am. I'm going to be stuttering. I'm going to be making mistakes. I'm going to feel awful. I'm going to sweat. So that in itself will rev up your nervous system, making everything worse. And when this happens too, you can then end up, the anxiety gets worse, which then triggers another hot flush, and then you end up with things like palpitations as well. So why on earth does this happen? We know that a lot of hot flushes are caused by estrogen falling. And what happens, falling estrogen also affects a gland in our brain called the hypothalamus. And one of the many things that the hypothalamus does is it controls our body temperature. It's a bit like our gas central heating switch. So it helps to regulate whether we're too hot or whether we're too cold as well. So what happens too is that the nervous system, once it gets revved up, it can then end up triggering anxiety. So again, this whole issue of the two connected together is really quite obvious. So anxiety and the nervous system, what happens here as well is once you're anxious, the nervous system kicks in, you get adrenaline, you get this flight or fight scenario, which then ends up causing more flushes and sweats. You can then end up getting histamine, which then causes skin rashes as well. So you get this horrible combination of all these symptoms that go together. The other thing too is that when anxiety, so if you're looking at anxiety on its own, very often flush is part of the anxiety process. So you can end up then getting a double whammy of flushes and sweats. So it's really a horrible vicious cycle that can sometimes be quite hard to fix. But how you can help yourself. So certainly, do the deep, slow breathing. This is such a really good, handy tool to learn because it can help you in so many other different situations. And I know for me, it's one that has worked really well. Do relaxing every day if you can. Keep that nervous system calm so it's not triggered all the time. So you're looking at your 30 minutes me time relaxation, things like yoga, tai chi, walking. All of these things help to calm the nervous system down and will make it more robust and less likely to react to all the little things that can trigger it on a daily basis. Have some of these cool compresses. There's a lot of little packages you can get now that you can just keep them in the freezer and put them on your head or your neck if you start to get a hot flush, and that can bring a flush down really, really quickly. You can look at helpful herbs to calm anxiety, so that's things like passion flower Avena sativa. For the hot flushes and also the night sweats, you can look at sage. For an easy way to take sage, why not try our 1 a day Menopause sage tablets? Limit other triggers as well. So anything that's going to trigger your nervous system, such as caffeine, high salt and sugar foods, smoking, going for a long time without eating or drinking. So just keep an eye on these things as well. Remember the magnesium. This is great for absolutely everything. So look at taking a total of between 300 to 400 milligrams on a daily basis. Prioritize your sleep as well. We know that if you have a poor night's sleep, and this is just one, your nervous system is going to be much more trigger happy the next day without anything else being involved as well. So sleep is just vital for our general well-being as well. And water. Remember the water, because dehydration affects the nervous system. Dehydration makes you more jumpy. It makes you more nervous. It creates all sorts of other issues as well. So that water on a daily basis can make a lot of difference. So I hope you found this one helpful, and especially for those of you, wherever you are at this moment in time, if the weather is really hot, you may find that you're suffering from flushes and sweats and anxiety combined a lot more together. So if you've any tips, if any of you have had this particular scenario and you've done things to help yourself, please share them as always. We love to read them all, and your comments and suggestions. So please keep them coming. And until then, I will see you next week for another edition of A. Vogel Talks Menopause.